Hi there, welcome back. In this video, we're going to learn how to set up email sending service in our Node.js application using Gmail's SMTP and NodeMailer. After watching this video, you will be able to implement, set up Node.js application's email sending service using NodeMailer and Google's SMTP. But before we move ahead, you can check a video that I've already made regarding the topic of setting up email service in a Node.js application but with cPanel's SMTP or custom domain. So let's get into it. Now what we are going to do is first we are going to initialize a Node.js project and then we will proceed. Okay, let's go. First of all, I'm going to be creating a folder. Okay, let's say SMTP Gmail SMTP NodeMailer, whatever. Hit enter. Now cd Gmail SMTP NodeMailer. Now what we're going to do is we're going to initialize Node.js application, right? A Node.js project. So you gotta do is npm init y. Hit enter. Now with the default options or settings, our project has been initialized. Okay, now we're going to open up with our code editor. I'm using VS Code. Okay, you can use any code editor, and I'm using npm. You have seen that, right? I'm using npm for my package management. Now what we need to do is we need to install some dependencies and dev dependencies. I'm going to be showing you that. We need to install npm I. What are the packages we're going to be using this? In this project we're going to be using Express, okay, and we're going to be using NodeMailer. Okay, NodeMailer. Let's install. Now after that we're going to be installing some dev dependencies. Okay, npm I -d for dev dependencies. Okay, and we're going to be installing .env nodemon. Now let's make a file with the name of index.js. okay, even if it is server.js or anything like that. Okay, after that what you need to do, we're going to setting up a simple single page Node.js application, and we are going to be using Express. You have seen that I have installed Express.js. Express.js is a Node framework. Okay, Node.js framework. Now we need to import the packages we have installed. First of all, we're going to import const express. We're going to declare a variable named express. Then we're going to be requiring that the name is express, right? Then we're going to import const NodeMailer require NodeMailer. You see, now we have imported Express and NodeMailer. Now we also have to import .env, which is really important. Now we're going to import that. Okay, require .env. Okay, we should not declare any constant or variable like Express and NodeMailer. Okay, now we're going to initialize a variable named app, and we're going to initialize or create an instance of Express application. Okay, now we're going to call Express. Now this app is an instance of Express application. Now we need to create a .env file, and we have to put all our credentials there. Okay, then we will be using those credentials using .env. So let's create a file named .env, and we'll be putting our credentials here. Okay, host, service, port, address, password, and app port. Okay, now how do we use it here? Let's see. The way we'll use it is like, let's say we are going to declare port, and the port will be process.env dot app port. Okay, and if there's no app port in the env file, we'll be using, let's say, 3000. This will not work unless you import this .env. Now what's next? Let's see. We need to use a middleware for parsing data. We will be sending data from front end, or maybe a tool like Postman, but we need to use what should I say, that JSON parser. Okay, JSON parser, we will be using that as a middleware. Now we have app, right? Now this app can use what? This app can use express.json. That means we can now parse the data, the JSON data, from the request body. So this is a middleware. Okay, now here we'll have our routes, and I'm not doing anything for the routes right now. Let's first listen to our application. Okay, let's add a event listener, not like the DOM one, it's for the server. Okay, now we're going to use app.listen. Now we are going to tell the port. Okay, we have the port. Now what? Now we're going to console. We're going to log something in the console. Okay, let's say it's app is listening on the port $port. Now the basic structure is done. So after you have set up your application, the basic structure, now what we're going to do is we're going to enable two-step verification in our Google account, and then we're going to create an app in our Google account which will be used for node mailer. Let's get into it. First of all, you need to log into your account and then go to your account dashboard. Then you will see security here. Okay, after that, if you haven't enabled two-step verification, you need to enable that. We need to search for app passwords. Now click on it. We need to give it a name, learning Gmail SMTP, and let's create an app generating password. Okay, now you need to copy this. You will not get it later on if you don't copy it. This is one time and you need to copy it and keep it at a place which is safe and secure. Now you need to copy this. Okay, now done. After that, you see that there's an app here and we have the password. Remember, you need the exact Gmail address. Okay, and you need the password. Now you have copied. So after creating the app, we need to update the credentials in the env file. SMTP host, okay, it will be smtp.gmail.com, and service will be Gmail, port will be 587. There's another port, but it's better to use 587 for Gmail. And then we have address, and it will be your Gmail account, exact Gmail account which was used to create the app, and then the password you copied, just paste over here, and app port will be the same. And after updating the env, you are going to move on the route stuff. Now the actual business is here. Okay, we're going to be doing the business stuff over here. Let's get into it. Let's define a post route, and the route will be /API/send email. Okay, and the second parameter of this function will be an async function. This is going to be an async function, and we're going to take request response, and okay, we're using arrow functions here. Now what you need to do is here, okay, the business logic will be laid down here. A person from the front end will send some data, right? Maybe you're using doing that from front end, or you're using a tool. In this video I'll be using Postman, but you're going to be sending some data from the front end, okay, to this endpoint, to the backend. Okay, now we have to collect the data. For that we need to, okay, let's say const rec.body. Request has a body, and you need to use this parser. Okay, this middleware is important, else it's not going to work. Now we're going to destructure the things that will be sent from the front end. Let's say recipient, email, message, and let's say subject. Let's say these three things or data will be sent from the front end or from the client. Now we're going to use it. We're going to use this data to send the email. Okay, and we can validate these. Okay, we may validate recipient, email, subject, message. If the data are not sent properly from the front end, if it's not given by the client properly, then we're going to throw an error. Okay, for current situation I will be using recipient email. Okay, recipient email, subject, message. Remember, if these are not given by the client, and we're going to throw an error. Okay, my bad. Okay, now it's okay. Then we're gonna be using res dot status, let's say 500 JSON. We need to send, okay, let's say message, and the message is like recipient, what did I do, recipient email, subject, message, email, subject, and message are required. Okay, you can distinctively do that. We need to use node mailer. Okay, we didn't use node mailer till this moment. Now we're going to configure node mailer for our application. Be careful and be attentive. Now we're going to configure transporter. Okay, now we're going to configure that. Now we're going to declare transporter, the transporter, and now we're going to be using node mailer dot create transport. Yeah, create transport. Inside that we have a lot of stuff to configure. Okay, if you press control space, you will see a lot of stuff is here. Okay, now we will be using auth, we will be using service, we will be using host. Okay, host, a lot of stuff. Okay, let me write it down one by one. We're going to be using host. All right, we're going to be using host. Then we're going to be using service. Okay, we're going to be using service. Then we're going to be using port, and after that we're going to be using auth. This will be an object. Okay, then we'll be using TLS, host, service, port, auth, TLS. Let's fill credentials inside these. Host, this is our host. Okay, SMTP host. Now we're going to be typing process.env.smtp host. Don't make any spelling mistake. Now service, it's the same process, process.env.smtp, not host, it's gonna be service. Okay, service, it's best to copy and paste. Okay, then port, SMTP port, not the app port. Okay, SMTP port will be 587. Don't use directly here. Then auth, for auth we'll be using email address and password. Okay, yes, it's user, and we're going to be using process.env email address pass. It will be process.env.email password. All right, then TLS stands for transport layer security. This is important for security reasons. Okay, currently I'm going to be using reject unauthorized false. Since it's for just demonstration purpose, I'm not giving much pressure or importance in case of security. But if you want to make it more secure, then you need to make it true, and you need to follow certain steps. Currently I'm going to be using false. Okay, now we have host, service, port, auth, TLS. We have used all of the env credentials. Okay, now our transporter is ready. Now the next step is to declare. Okay, let's configure mail options. Okay, it was for transporter, and now we are going to be configuring this configure mail options. Okay, now we need to declare mail options. Okay, inside that an object, it will be an object, and we're going to be using from to subject, then text and HTML. Now from will be the same as our email address. Okay, or email address, process.env.email address. Then to will be the recipient's email. Okay, and we have recipient's email over here. Okay, put it over here. Then subject will be from here. It's dynamic, it will be given by the client. Then you have the message will be okay, text. This one is for plain text and the next one is for HTML, and inside that we are going to be putting the message. Okay, dollar, use backticks, template literal or template strings. Now the mail options are this one is also set up. Now you may ask me why we are using text and HTML, twice we are using message. Okay, this one is for older ones. Okay, older clients, some of the older clients for sending emails don't support HTML. They don't support HTML. For them we're going to be giving the text. They will automatically take this plain text, and HTML is for almost all of the modern clients for handling emails. Okay, these options are set up, and now that you have set up transporter and configured mail option, we are going to send email. We're going to be sending email right now. For that we need to use try catch block. Okay, since it's an async function, we can certainly use try catch block over here, because if anything goes wrong, we will be notified by the catch block. The catch block will prevent the application from crashing. Okay, in the try block what we'll do is using the transporter. Okay, wait, transporter dot send mail. Okay, now we're going to be putting transporter as the parameter. It is dot status is sorry, maybe we can do it for 200. Then dot JSON, we can say that message is email sent successfully. If it goes perfect, then it's going to work, and if anything goes wrong in the try block, then the catch block will do its job by catching the error, right? The rest dot status JSON, it's going to be like message failed to send email, and let's give a field for error. Let's say there is error dot message. Okay, for debugging. Sending email is also done. Now we have successfully completed our project, setting up email service using Google's SMTP. Now it's time for testing. Okay, I'll not be demonstrating with front end, but I will be showing you the the process of sending email. I'm going to be using Postman for this. I think I have made a mistake over here. That is, we need to call .config for the .env. Okay, fix this, else you're gonna face problems. Now we need to add node1 in our script, even though it's not that important, but why not use it? Okay, it's for you. You can test, debug. Okay, so that you don't have to run command every time your application crashes or anything goes wrong in applications. Okay, let's say dev. Okay, that means npm run dev. All right, now I'm going to be putting node1 and the file name is index.js. Okay, this one. Now our script is done. Now if we type npm run dev and hit enter, you will see that our app is running on port 5000. Now let's test using Postman. Okay, I think it should be recipient email. Okay, I think I found the problem here. I did not type post.env over here. That's why my application was causing issues. Okay, now it's running, and now if we test this, send email, let's try it out. Failed to send email, no recipients defined. Oh, let's see. My bad. You see how many mistakes I have made. It will mail options. Okay, now it's running. Let's try it again. Send. And that's it. We have made it. Okay, now let's check my inbox. You see in the spam, I have that email. Okay, there are some problems with the configuration. Sometimes it may send your mail to the spam, and the best way to avoid or bypass these, the best way to solve these problems is to check your host service port. Okay, auth TLS rejected false. Okay, reject unauthorized false. So we have compromised our transport layer security. That's why sometimes it may cause issues, but I've used it many times. It doesn't send your mail to the spam all the time, but sometimes it happens. But when you're going to use it in production, you are not going to see any problem, because there will be more advanced ways of your custom domain setup functionalities for security reasons. If you do those stuff accordingly, following the rules and regulations, your mail will not be sent to spam. Let's send another email. Okay, now let's check our inbox. You see, this one was not sent to spam. Sometimes it happens, but if you're using the proper configurations, it will not be sent to your spam. So thank you so much. We are done for now. And that's it. Now we have set up Gmail with NodeMailer to send emails programmatically from your Node.js application. And if you have any questions, or if you run into any issues, you can comment below, and I will be trying my level best to help you out. I hope you found this video helpful. Please give it a thumbs up, share it with others, and share your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for upcoming web development related videos. Thank you so much.